Kyle Kirkwood, Renus VK, Christian Rasmussen. Just three drivers who have parlayed success in USF2000 all the way to careers in the NTT IndyCar Series. They all started here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, as will 24 drivers who qualified earlier today. It is time for the opening race of the 2026 season. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howden, and we are finally set to go racing. What a crazy morning it's been. Never have we had three sessions within essentially a 4-hour window. Drivers not able to make mistakes, and if they did, they may not make another session. That's the key thing right now, is the fact that we are getting ready to go racing for the first time. We don't race again, race two, until after IndyCar. But again, this morning with practice, qualifying, and now race number one within a 4-hour window. Crucial for these drivers not to make any mistakes. They can do it here in this race now, race number one, because they got all day Saturday to fix a race car for race number two. But indeed, they all want to get started off cleanly. Looking forward to what should be a fantastic race here today. As we know, every one of these drivers, the 7 drivers returning as sophomores and the 16 rookies all set to take to this racetrack to begin the new season. They were on track actually on Thursday as well. The track walk. Every time we come to an event, the drivers and their coaches and their teams take an opportunity to get around this racetrack, to have a look at it. If you're at Road America, Mid-Ohio, it's the same racetrack every year. For an event like St. Petersburg, always minor changes. Maybe some new asphalt laid down, maybe some concrete. The walls might not be in the same spot. They have to look at all the notes from years before and get a really good feel for this racetrack. The track walk, almost the most important way to start a race weekend. You have to understand this racetrack, especially for the 16 rookies. During Thursday, we had a chance to go out with those drivers, and we talked to a few to see how important this track walk really is. While the driving here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg may get underway on Friday morning, the event itself actually starts on Thursday afternoon. All the drivers, the teams, mechanics, coaches, whether it's in USF2000, Indy Next, or the NTT IndyCar Series, they're on the racetrack early to check things out. The track walk every weekend, so crucial for these young drivers, especially those who are coming here to this temporary street circuit for the first time. As you work your way around the track, your team has notes from the years past. The track always changes a little bit. Maybe some new asphalt. Maybe the barriers aren't quite in the same place. It's very crucial for these drivers to walk this track, get a feel for where all the barriers are before they hit the track on Friday morning. Very crucial part of this weekend, learning this racetrack on foot first and then behind the wheel on Friday morning. We had a chance to catch up with a couple of people that were out here from our paddock taking in today's track walk. 16 rookies in the field here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, and one of them, of course, our USF Juniors champion, Leonardo Scorpione. Leo, you've never run a street circuit before. You're doing the track walk right now. What are you trying to find out here?
I'm just taking a look for the track, like, it looks way tighter than it is on videos. I was a little surprised about that, but it seems fun. I'm ready to go out and just have some fun, learn.
You're obviously walking around with your coach as well, Victor Franzoni. He's been here before. What's he telling you about how to be fast around this track?
He's telling me what not to do, like go out the first session and kind of learn everything. There's a lot of places where, you can hit the wall, of course. And he's telling me, okay, let's make sure we turn a little earlier here. Like, if you turn in wide here, you're going to lose the rear and everything. He's giving me some tips. Let's make sure I don't hit the wall because, if I hit the wall in the first session, I'm done for the whole weekend. And, of course, throughout the session, throughout the days, I'm going to learn the track, obviously. It's still a track at the end of the day. So he's giving me some tips on what not to do in the first session and then learn from there.
Coming back to a street circuit like St. Petersburg for your second time makes it a little bit easier. Evan Cooley from Exclusive Autosport, what are you looking at? You've been here before. You've raced here before. What do you look at during the track walk?
Yeah, obviously great to be back here for a second year. We just looked for changes from last year. So obviously it's a street circuit. The walls might be in slightly different places. So we're just taking note of the slightly different pieces of the track. For example, this is repaved compared to last year. So we take note of that. And just really the track walk is super important here to prepare for the first practice session tomorrow.
From USF Juniors to NTT IndyCar Series action, they all have a driver coach. Simon Sykes, former series champion. You're out here in the track walk with your D-Force crew and your drivers. What are you telling these young guys?
Well, first of all, you write track notes pre-event, but every time you show up to a street circuit, it may be a little bit different. The walls here, a little bit there. So we just go over what we talked about in the notes, review that, make sure we got it, and look for any differences in the track surface compared to years past to, set these guys up so session one isn't a disaster.
You got a second-year driver in Sebastian Garzone and got a rookie in Thomas Nordquist. How do you treat those guys a bit differently?
It's just managing expectations. The entire goal here is come out with a clean weekend. It's not been my strength here, obviously, but come out of it with good points. With Garzone, we're shooting for hopefully a championship lead leaving the weekend. I don't want to set it too high, but that's the bar. Thomas's first time in a street circuit, right? So it's about taking all of it in, building up the comfort level. His driving's been fantastic over the winter, so we're just looking forward to seeing that progress on track.
And the weekend really starts right now during this track walk.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the most important part of the weekend, in my opinion. The weekend's going to fly by. We got a lot of sessions tomorrow, so we're going to get through that, and we won't have a whole lot of time in between. So the more we can focus now and study it and be good with it, the better off for everybody.
There you go. Simon said the all starts right now. The weekend starts now. The championship starts now. This track walk here at St. Petersburg and every facility we go to, one of the most important parts of the weekend.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
And they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
We test every vehicle for driving safety, performance, and efficiency. But we also believe a vehicle should be fun. So we set out to test the all-new Prelude for joy, excitement, and exhilaration. And it's clear, it's not just the way our vehicles move, but the way they make you feel that makes them a Honda. The Prelude Hybrid, engineered for fun.
Well, it has been a busy morning for the drivers, teams, and crews of the USF Pro Championships. And here, of course, the drivers in USF2000, the lone category, as part of the event here, the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg for 2026. This all, of course, started back in 2010 when USF2000 reinvented itself and started things off here in St. Petersburg. 23 drivers set to go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at the grid as the drivers have worked their way out onto pit lane. Starting at the tail of the field after an issue in qualifying, some kind of a technical issue. Liam Loiacono, runner-up last year in USF Juniors, 5 wins to cap off the season. Keep an eye on that number 6 for Jay Howard Driver Development, powered by Ed Carpenter Racing. You'll see the colors of the ECR machines on Liam Loiacono's car, the driver out of Australia, Queensland, Australia. Super impressive. Watch for him to attack from the tail of the field. We'll move up to row number 11 on the outside in the number 78 machine out of Boca Raton, Florida, in the Sucker Punch Pickles Tire Boss number 78. That is rookie Jack Morehart. Morehart in the VRD Racing starting on the outside. Inside in the number 91 from Chandler, Arizona, the Geneva Financial LLC exclusive Autosport 91, the rookie driver Kaylee Countryman. She'll run in the F1 Academy Series this year as well. 4 races planned for Kaylee here in USF 2000. Moving now up into row number 10. We'll see the driver on the outside, Thomas Nordquist, in the number 17 machine from Omaha, Nebraska, in the X-Cancer Motorsports D-Force Racing number 17. Nordquist has got a bunch of people watching back home. We say hello to all of those of you there and ready to watch Thomas work his way forward. Inside of that row, Connor Aspley of O'Fallon, Missouri, in the number 97 for Exclusive Autosports. A full season in USF Juniors planned for Connor Aspley. But he's excited to be able to run here this weekend in USF 2000. We may see him in more USF 2000s before the end of the year. He'll roll into his second year of USF Juniors here in 2026. Up to row number 9, a couple of rookie drivers here in USF 2000, both with Jay Howard Driver Development. Cal Peter in the number 9, scheduled to start in the 18th position. Cal Peter out of Fishers, Indiana, in the Nutrition 101 machine, and he will start 18th alongside his Brazilian teammate Naim Saleh in that number 7. Naim in the Sky 1 machine. Issues in qualifying for Naim, got into the wall. He ends up starting here in the 17th position. Moving our way up to row number 8, starting on the outside. In fact, the inside and outside, the Kahn brothers are on that row out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, in the all-print graphics exclusive Autosport machine. These drivers finished first and second last year in the FRP F1600 Championship Series. It'll be the 94 of Ayrton Kahn starting in 16th, his brother Gabe in the 93 starting in the 15th spot. Moving up to row number 7 at Redondo Beach, California, in the number 44 for VRD Racing. Racing, Ryan Janetta, set to roll off here from the 14th spot. Alongside him in the number 10 from Austin, Texas, in the Marina Machine for D-Force Racing. That is Brady Golan. Golan has worked his way through USF2000, ran a limited schedule in USF Pro 2000 last year and lining up for a full season here in 2026. Now up to row number 6. Let's have a look at the driver starting on the outside of that row. Row number 6, Wesley Gundler in the number 46 machine for NV Motorsports, a new team that launched last year at Holly Springs, North Carolina in the Apex Resource Center. Number 46, Gundler starting in 12th alongside Lucas Nanji, the Canadian out of Quebec, Canada, in the number 24 in the Metro Supply Chain machine. Pabst Racing number 24 for Lucas Nanji. Into the top 10 now, starting on the outside of the front row. Third last year in USF 2000. He has not yet made his debut in USF Pro 2000, but we'll do that in 2 weeks at Arlington. The number 25 VRD machine is Teddy Masella out of Orlando, Florida. So watch for Masella to be quick, working his way from the outside of row number 5. He'll start alongside the rookie, number 19, Colin Aiken out of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, in the Morgan Stanley Hennessy Performance VRD Racing Machine. Aiken and Masella on row number 5. Moving now up into row number 4 as we get ourselves to the front, as we have the Command of Fire coming soon. Vian Bossoff for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development out of South Africa in the 67, starting 8th, alongside USF Juniors champion Leonardo Scorpioni for Zanella Racing in the number 55. Row 3 will have Evan Cooley on the outside from Illinois for the exclusive Autosport machine. Cooley, second-year driver, looking for his first win. He'll roll off 6th in the number 90 alongside him. Third-place runner last year in the USF Juniors program, Joao Vergara for VRD Racing in the number 3. Up now to row number 2 as we get ourselves to the front of this grid, starting on the outside. It's an all-Australian row number 2. Brad Majman for Pabst Racing in the number 22, set to go from P4. He'll start alongside Eddie Beswick, the teammates here at Pabst Racing, looking to keep that dream alive for the team that has won so many races and championships. 23 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row, off pole out of Ontario, Canada for exclusive Autosport in the number 92. That is the driver Anthony Martella. Martella in the NIN Transport VPS Services machine out of Woodbridge in the number 92, with the driver starting on the pole position in the number 12 from Bogota, Colombia in the Lucas Oil School of Racing D-Force machine, Sebastian Garzone. Putting it on the pole in the number 12 for D-Force. Garzone and Martella row 1, Beswick and Majman on row number 2. Time to get things underway. Our first Command of Fire engines for USF 2000. Race 1 of a doubleheader here in St. Petersburg. Let's head down to pit lane for the Command of Fire engines from one of our guests from FBM, Darius Stacy. Thank you, Darius. Firing things up, and we are now ready to go. Drivers ready to fire it up here in USF 2000. Looking forward to get on this one for sure. Again, this is the second rung of our program, and looking forward to seeing the drivers move their way forward. Like, again, a lot of these drivers coming from USF 2000, starting in USF Juniors. That was our initial program. Drivers coming out of F1600, some of the school series like Skip Barber, the Lucas Oil School, working their way into USF Juniors. Many coming straight from karting into that Juniors program. Once you've got a figure for the car, you've run some races in USF Juniors, you make the calculated move up. There's Vian Bossoff right there, the number 67 out of South Africa, watching these cars further back. There's the 19 of Colin Aiken, the 25 of Teddy Masella. You can see that car just put together this week for Masella to drive it. Back to the Pabst Racing machine of Lucas Nanji. There's the brand new NV Motorsports car, the 46 of Wesley Gundler. Gundler in the 46. Good shot of these drivers further back. Brady Goal in the reign of the field, heading out onto the racetrack as we get set to go racing for the first of 2. What a morning it's been for these drivers. Practice, qualifying, and now race number 1 set to go within a matter of about 3.5 hours. Let's have a look at the track map around this facility here on the streets of St. Petersburg. You can see that big run down into turn number 1. Turn 2, very precarious. You got to give room on the inside for a driver potentially coming around. The 2-3 combination is so tight. You have to hit your marks. The apex is, of course, the wall. Then the big run out of 3. And where they are right now, the down into turn number 4, a hard-braking right-hand corner leading into a very technical area of the racetrack. Turn 4, and then sweeping through. It's super narrow as well. 5, 6, and 7. Back to the double apex right-hander of turns 8 and 9. We've seen trouble with drivers in turn number 9, many clouding the wall on the inside, maybe dropping a wheel on the outside. That's what happened to Jay Howard driver named Naeem Saleh, as he had issues coming through turn number 9, got into the wall. From there, it's the big run down. The kink, turn number 10, you're flat out all the way down to turn number 11. That's a tight corner, as we know. You got to get around turn number 11 because right there on the outside is that wall. You got to make sure you just stay out of it, hit the mark. Back into the 12-13 chicane, that right-left chicane that leads in to the final quarter on the racetrack, turn 14, the big sweeping right-hand hairpin back onto the straightaway to complete the lap here at St. Petersburg. So again, drivers set to go. 23. We're supposed to have 24, but I don't know which driver is not lining up right now. We'll have a look at that in when we can. But otherwise, the drivers are lining things up. They have tested all offseason. They have been working hard to make sure that they get a chance to go after a scholarship worth over $405,000 and ready to go green here in the Foundation Building Materials Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Shout out to all of our guests here this weekend who are along for the ride here on a beautiful Friday here in St. Petersburg. Field lining up, folks. Time to get things underway. Aaron Likens up in the stand. We are ready to go racing with USF2000, and we are green, green, green. Racing down now into turn number 1. This is where it all gets crazy. They'll work their way into turn 1. Driver around already. That is Cooley. And both both exclusive Autosport cars have been collected. That was Martella who went around. Cooley climbs over top of him. And the thoughts of exclusive Autosport to come away with a win and a couple of podiums. Their front-running drivers collected in turn number 1. Martella on the brakes, looped it around. Everybody working their way through turns 4 and 5. Through over to turn number 6. You know we're going to go full course yellow here, but they're going to let them race as long as they can. I'm sure that we'll get out likely of turn number 9. Caution on the racetrack now. Full course yellow for contact. 2 drivers together. Wow. Exclusive Autosport coming into this race with 2 guys they knew were going to go for race wins. Anthony Martella and Evan Cooley. They were strong in practice, strong here in qualifying 2nd and 6th. And Martella goes around coming into the corner, and Cooley, with nowhere to go, climbs on top. It's going to be a tough atmosphere over at Exclusive because they got work to do. Of course, not until Sunday they're back on the racetrack, but this is tough for both these drivers. And listen, we may not be done yet. I'm trying to see the damage. Obviously, the front wing, both front wings are gone. Cooley's already out of the car. You wonder whether or not they can get Cooley back on. No, left front damage as well. You can see the push rod bent on the left front, so both these drivers are out. Martella can't get out of the car right now. Good opportunity to bring in my my compatriot here, my fellow commentator, the voice of this Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, Todd Lewis. Todd, the last thing you want to do to start any race like that is have trouble. Normally we get some kind of an incident. That was just, I think, Martella on the brakes and looping it around into the corner.
And this is the unfortunate start to the season that nobody wanted in the USF2000 series, and certainly not, as you mentioned, with the exclusive Autosport team. That is going to be an uncomfortable debrief session, I suspect, a little bit later on. But we'll need to get another look at it, hopefully, and see if there was another issue with Anthony Martella. Did he get help? Was it just him on the brakes? Was he overly optimistic and just got looped around and tried to get the car stopped? And then with Evan Cooley, there was just no place to go with the car in front of you.
Yeah, the quick luck I saw there, obviously we'd cut over after the start, and it looks to me like he just was trying to roll a lot of speed in there. Maybe he had a bit of brake still in it because he was overcooking it coming into the corner. One of the things about the start, dirty racetrack, if you're on the inside potentially, there's a lot of painted areas down there. It is a runway, by the way. It's not a city street. It's a runway that we use for the start-finish line and down into turn number 1. And, yeah, again, I don't think it's going to be a lot of angry stuff in the debrief. They're going to sit down together, and I guarantee Martella's going to apologize, and Cooley's going to say, hey, man, what did you do?
Yep.
It literally – that's what happens. You
That's
make
racing.
a minor mistake like that, and it just happened to be Cooley who was coming through from P6. Tough start for sure for both of those young drivers who I'll say this, out of the gate, 100% championship contenders. And I would say to them in the after the day today, because I've said this to so many drivers who come in here and think that they need to win at St. Petersburg. There have been so many years, and I've done this for 17 years now, all the way back to 2010. You don't need to win at St. Pete to win the championship, and there are many, many years where the eventual champion did not find victory here on the opening race of the season. It's more about the consistency through a whole body of work the entire year as opposed just to the opening couple of races. So both those drivers are going to put their heads down. We'll look to see where they qualified, as we know, for race number 2. But they will be 100% hunting for good results so when we get back at it Sunday afternoon.
In the meantime, the rest of the field will continue to circulate around under this full course caution while the AMR safety team continues to clean up those 2 cars of both Cooley and Martella, who will be moved out of the way pretty quickly and efficiently. Now they'll just do a quick survey to make sure that there's no debris and bits and pieces now as the safety car comes through with the rest of the field. And hopefully we can get this cleaned up and make sure that the track is clear and safe. We can get back to green flag racing with less than a lap of green flag so far, and we'll see if everyone can start to settle in and run some laps.
Take an opportunity to say hello to those of you who are tuned in on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. I always like to have a quick look here at the chat as it kind of gets rolling. Again, say hello to all those of you guys are tuned in. I see a couple of drivers who I know, Grant Mitchell watching in there as well. So, again, great to have everybody watching the broadcast here today. Shout out to one of my co-announcers when I get out to Portland, Bobby Corser is watching as well. That's not until August, but I get a chance to work with Bobby when we get out there for the races at the Portland Grand Prix. So looking forward to that one for sure. But yeah, it's, man, all I ever want for these drivers is at least, first and foremost, is to get through turn number 1, because that's what we're looking for. Hate to see a couple of drivers, especially from the same team, because, again, high hopes for those drivers up front, and it's always tough when stuff like that happens.
And now they'll have plenty of time to think about that too. You almost wonder if it's a good thing or not as good thing that they don't race again until Sunday afternoon, especially for Martella and Cooley, who will now have to live with that for a day or so, get some sleep, put it behind you. Maybe it's a little bit of extra time to process. That might be a good thing. Well,
and one of the other things as well is that they are behind the 8 ball. I said, it's not like you're not going to win the championship, but you're behind the 8 ball. You got work to do for the remainder of the season. Field, I think we're going to go back to green. Indeed, we're back to green flag. Awesome job by the AMR IndyCar safety team. Green flag flying once again. And Garzone will take the lead. Sebastian Garzone, pole sitter for D-Force Racing, to lead him down into turn number 1. Field across the line. Cleaner run through there now. And indeed, they are through single file. Everybody getting into position here. Now let's have a look at the top 10 as they come by for you. Garzone, Vergara, Scorpione, Majman, and Nanji top 5. Everybody kind of getting through cleanly, and I would do that as well. No need to attack here on the opening lap. Get some heat built into these Continentals before you start getting to work. Behind Nanji, P5. And by the way, a great start for Nanji to get up to P5. Started 11th, so he was on the attack in a big way. Colin Aiken in 6th spot. Teddy Masella in 7th. Brady Golan in 8th. Gabe Kahn in 9th, Ryan Janetta rounding out the top 10. Eddie Beswick had an issue as well. Remember, Beswick, who started on the outside of the front, or near the front row 2 for Beswick, started 3rd. He's at the tail of the field as well. Not sure what happened to Eddie. I didn't think I saw him go into pit lane, so something happened on his opening lap as well.
Yeah, definitely a troublesome start for Beswick, as well as those 2 exclusive Autosport cars. But now we're circulating around at speed, and now it's up to the drivers like, okay, put that behind you. Let's settle in. Let's get my race plan. And if you've been able to take advantage of it, like Lucas Nagy, who's jumped a bunch of positions, all right, now what can I do in these final laps?
Okay, so let's check in as well with Liam Loiacono. Yeah, horrible for Cooley, horrible for Martella. Exactly what Liam Loiacono wanted. He said, "Yeah, listen, I'd love to have a yellow at the start where I can get a bunch of spots." Loiacono all the way up to 12th right now, Todd. He started back in 23rd. He goes 12th. That is a huge start on the opening lap for a driver who didn't even get 1 lap in qualifying.
Something that we haven't mentioned yet is notice as we're looking at different shots is the different surfaces around this track. It looks like there are some fresher asphalt areas around the back part of the circuit. This is one of the older ones that we're looking at now. This is, again, something that these drivers will have to learn and deal with throughout the weekend here on the streets of St. Petersburg. Regular city streets, some newer asphalt, some older asphalt, little concrete sprinkled around there as well.
Yeah, and listen, that's part of the characteristic, the real true character of this race, and you're going from asphalt to new pavement to the concrete, the walls, the paint, the paint on the airstrip as well. That area here come out of the front, like that paint in the middle, especially when you get down to the braking zone on the inside. Our camera's not giving us a great shot of that. But when you come down into turn number 1, if you're down the bottom of the racetrack, it's dirty and it's full white paint on the inside. So, indeed, very tough for these young drivers to get used to the track, especially when you're brand new. Some good racing further back right now. Garzon, Vergara, Scorpioni, Majman, and Nanji trying to pull away here now early on. Ideally, we'll get some green flag running. Here comes the move. There's a big move to the bottom of the racetrack. One of the D-Force drivers getting to the bottom there, trying to do a defensive run inside. I think that might have been Brady Golan potentially trying to hold off Gabe Kahn, because Kahn has now worked his way up into 9th. How about Gabe Kahn from 15th up to 9th, +6 for the driver out of Santa Fe, New Mexico in the exclusive Autosport car. He's picking up where Martella and Cooley left off, grabbing that exclusive Autosport flag and trying to get it into the top 10, maybe even top 5. But running early now, getting a couple of laps in here. Still a lot of time left on the race. 20-lapper for the race. We've got 30 minutes still on the time window, Todd. I'm just going to say drivers have done such a great job here. We had 3 sessions back to back to back with those MX5 Cup sessions in there as well. For these drivers, for the teams, man, they've done a great job in really tough conditions in terms of the schedule.
Yeah, that is a very challenging schedule for especially a lot of drivers that this is their first race in the series. A lot of a new circuit that they haven't driven on before, plus a very compressed schedule here on Friday, so a lot of good work done by that. But that is some good battles for position from about 7th or 8th on back with Brady Golan right now as we're watching that.
Ooh, Teddy Masella up on the curb a little bit there. Vian Bossoff gave him enough room. Great call for Vian there to give him enough room that he didn't get collected. Look at this battling we're seeing further back. There's a big move to the inside. That's one of the Jay Howard driver development cars. That might be Liam Loiacono. He is up to 12th. We'll give a shout out to the sponsor to the side of that car, JW Winco. He's had some great sponsors come on board for Liam to be able to make sure he's able to come back and run this year. I think in the offseason, yeah, there was some trepidation, maybe not able to put it together. And after what he did in USF Juniors, it would have been a shame for him not to come back. This is one of the finest young Australian drivers I've seen here, and great to have him pushing up to USF 2000. He really came on, Todd, in the second half of the season in USF Juniors and deserves a good run here in USF 2000. So, again, working his way back forward. Loiacono is 12th at the line, but look at this scrum further back.
Oh, this is great action. This is the kind of action that we have come to love here on the streets of St. Petersburg with the USF2000 series. You'll get battles for position up front, but you'll get battles right throughout the field. And look at them jockeying for position down the main front straightaway and then trying to reposition to get ready for corner number 1. There's the white paint you talked about. That can be very slick going into the corner.
Exactly that. You're down in there, you're going to be in trouble. I want to give a shout-out here and just to mention something right now, Todd. So the number 67 of Vian Bossoff, he's from South Africa, but the team itself, Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development, spent a long time in Beech Grove, Indiana, and they're running stickers on Vian's cockpit here this weekend because Officer Brian Elliott, a Beech Grove, Indiana police officer, was killed in the line of duty 12 days ago. Beech Grove, Indiana is the home, of course, for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development, both Sarah and Andy O'Gara, and so we have continued thoughts and prayers for the Elliott family and, of course, everybody from the Beech Grove Police Department. Hate to see that happening, and again, sending all of our thoughts and prayers to Brian Elliott's family right now in a really tough time. Back in the racing, and aggressive as it is out there right now, you can see everybody digging. Listen, they've been let's put it this way, Todd. They've been really playing nice. They've been being smart. They've been, okay, I want to finish every session. Maybe I left a little on the table because I didn't want to wreck early. There's lots of times to fix a car right now. You've got till Sunday. So this is the kind of time I think where you tell your team just to drop the hammer. Listen, we got to do this. We got to go to the front here right now. We can fix a car, but it's time to go to work.
But let's be smart about it. But yes, it's okay to be aggressive. This is what you've been working toward through the off season to prepare in your program, through testing in the spring training program. Now this is for real on the streets of St. Petersburg. So let's see what you've been able to put together and produce as Sebastian Garzon continues to lead out in front of Joao Vergara and Scorpioni with a very nice run in that third place right now.
Yeah, remember, Vergara and Scorpioni, rookies coming up from USF Juniors. Vergara finishing 3rd overall last year. Scorpioni is the champion. He's got the livery from the scholarship there. So the young guys are looking really good here as well. Brad Masman runs in 4th. A couple other rookies, Lucas Nanji and Colin Aiken, 5th and 6th. I said coming in that the second-year drivers were going to have a shot at it. Now, we lost 2 of them in that incident in the opening corner, and both Martella and Cooley, they will be back with a vengeance in race number 2. I'll say this about Loiacono as well. He's into the top 10, 23rd to 10th for Liam Loiacono. Remember, no second lap to use at all. So he's now going to be able to use his fastest lap of this session so far, which is a 1:13.1. That's going to move him way up the order for race number 2. So indeed, Loiacono really kind of saving his weekend here, trying to make sure he gets a good run in.
Nice work for him to get that fast lap in and improve his starting position for race number 2. Something that he's hoping to do. But things starting to settle down just a little bit as we get towards the halfway point of this 20-lap race. And is this the point where everybody says, "Okay, here's where I am. Here's what I'm feeling. How does the car change, or how has the car changed halfway through, and how is it going to change in the second half of this race?"
I think another thing to kind of bring up as well is that we have 16 rookies, and you can just consider the nerves that they had at the start of that race. Indeed, it was Martella who made the minor error there, a veteran driver, but everybody else was so nervous. You've had the yellow flags. Now you're into race running. You've got a bunch of green flag laps. Now it's just about racing. The nerves aren't there anymore. You know, you have nerves on the grid, but the minute that wind starts blowing through your visor and you're on it, the nerves are gone. Now, hey, listen, this is the start I got. Here's the guys I'm racing with. Here's the race car I have, because now they have a feel for what the race car's like. Remember, they made changes to the car from qualifying to the race. Hey, I want more of this. I want more front. I want a little more. It's pushing too much. Well, now they know what kind of car they have. They can feel what they've done in terms of change to the car. So now you go to work, right? Everybody's just going to try to fight their way forward. That's where the second half changes. Big slide there for the number 9 of Cal Peter in the Nutrition 101 Jay Howard Driver Development Machine. Peter running now in the 15th spot. I believe Ayrton Kahn may have slipped by there, but nonetheless, Cal Peter getting his first race, that first USF2000 race under his belt as well.
Yeah, seeing some of these drivers in the USF2000 series, Cal Peter was one of them. It's just like there's been so much that they've been trying to absorb since the spring training and even this weekend through the track walk yesterday, and understanding the process and running through a race weekend in this compressed schedule on Friday. You just see that there's a lot of work being done with the brain power for those drivers.
No doubt about that. This is just such a tough track to pick up, and it's not a track you can go on a simulator as well. I don't think it's on a simulator anywhere. So that's the other issue. Watching a lot of video, of course, from your teammates, and they're racing from last year. Let's reset here now. Sebastian Garzone leading the way for D-Force Racing. It's a 2.2 second lead as he's banging out purple laps here now. Fastest laps on the racetrack. Joao Vergara in second. Leonardo Scorpioni third. Brad Majman fourth. Lucas Nanji running in fifth spot. Colin Aiken in sixth. Brady Golan in seventh. Gabe Kahn up to eighth. Liam Bossoff ninth. And Liam Loiacono into the 10th position. So indeed, good stuff so far as drivers have worked their way forward. Again, well back, as we know, for Loiacono. Started 23rd. He's up into the 10th spot. Other big moves, Gabe Kahn started back in 15th. He's now up into 8th, +7 for Gabe Kahn. Excellent job for the young driver out of New Mexico. Here comes the NV Motorsports car, Wesley Gundler as well. He's running 12th in his USF2000 debut. But again, for me, I talk to the drivers a lot about the fact that this is their first race, right? And by the midway through the season, I always use Road America as kind of that pivot point. Because if you're a rookie in USF2000, by the time you get to Road America, you've run the street circuit at St. Petersburg, you've run the oval at IRP, and you've run the road course in Indianapolis. You've got enough races in the books where now you can go to work, right? You've done a lot of the stuff that we already have to offer. So, indeed, Road America, Mid-Ohio, those are the races where you're kind of not a rookie anymore. It still has the R beside your name, but you've run everything the series has to offer. That's a lot of times when the rookies start to move their way to the forefront.
It's sort of at that point of the season, you know what you don't know, and that's kind of and that's why we start to see the progression of so many drivers through the second half of the season. We'll see drivers that are finding their way in the first few events of the season, and then after you get to Road America, as you get towards Portland, you'll really start to see some marked improvement in performance from some of those rookie drivers.
Watching a quick look here at the chat on the YouTube channel, and my good friend Bill Wright just says, iRacing releasing St. Pete next week in the next build. That's what I'm talking about. So again, for all the drivers coming next year, all the USF juniors ready to move to USF2000, you're going to have a lot of time on the iRacing sim to get a chance to get a feel for this racetrack. Thanks, Bill. Bill Wright, the founder of the Florida Winter Tour, one of the biggest karting events every year, has since gone on to be part of the Rush SR program. So thanks, Bill. I appreciate the info there. And again, 2.3 seconds the lead for Garzone, although the top 4 drivers all turn their fastest lap. Here's some great fighting further back. That's the number 6 of Cal Peter. Right with him as well, I believe, is Teddy Musella in the number 25. That's a big group of drivers there as well coming across the line, is it not? Wow, right there on top of each other as they come through that corner. Gudler, Beswick. Eddie Beswick's back to P13, by the way. Remember, he came into pit lane as well. Damage on the opening lap. He fell back into 21st. Beswick has fought his way back up to 13th. So a couple of drivers who I expect to be in the championship chase, Beswick being one, Loiacono being the other, having to come back from adversity here in the opening race. Todd Loiacono with the trouble in qualifying. He's got himself now up into 10th position. And then the issue in the opening lap for Beswick dropped him back. He definitely needs to salvage a good finish here as well.
And that's what the job is now for Eddie Beswick and others, is that salvage what you can, understanding that you were dealt a tough blow at the start of the race. But now it's about what you do the rest of the way, starting to claw your way back. You understand that you're not going to climb your way all the way back to the front of the field. But every position picks up championship points, and those will pay off a little bit later on in the season.
I believe this battle here is the fight right now for 6th position. That's Colin Aiken, Brady Golan, Gabe Kahn, Vian Bosov, Liam Loiacono, and Ryan Janetta in that group there. So it's essentially 6th all the way back to 11th, battling their way down the straightaway and through course 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn 4 is a tough one. You can see how narrow it gets as they work their way through 5, 6, and 7. Over to that 8-9 combination right here. Double apex, right-hander, 8 and 9. Man, every entry, every exit, so crucial. You want to cut it as close as you can, but 1 millimeter over, and you're done. And that's really the balance of running on a street circuit compared to running on a natural terrain road course. You drop a wheel on the exit of a corner at Mid-Ohio or Road America, and you're back on the racetrack. There's no dropping wheels here. It's getting into the barrier and damaging your car, and you're out for the race. So it's always that razor's edge of where you need to be in contact there. A couple drivers getting together. Oh, that was an issue there for Brady Golan. Golan gets together with, I believe, was that Aiken? I think it was. I think Gabe Kahn able to slip through. So, yeah.
Yep, Kahn does move up, and Aiken did have the trouble spot.
I don't know if Aiken was trying the outside, coming through the chicane to try to go around the outside, but all of a sudden you could see straight through. Golan couldn't get it turned. Aiken's on the outside holding on. They fall back. 8th for Aiken. And Golan goes back to, I believe, 13th, or 12th for Golan. Big trouble there. I wonder, he may be in the pit. It was so fast when we looked at it. I wonder if it was a flat tire.
Possibly.
I quickly looked as I saw it happen, and he may have had a flat tire, and that, of course, would have explained the issue coming in. Oh, there's a side swipe coming out of the corner as well. That's the 25 of Masella. He's getting attacked big time right now by Ayrton Kahn. The Kahn brothers right in the middle of the fight here this weekend. I think Masella may have tapped the wall, and he's slowed, I think. Is that yeah, another driver slowing coming out of turn number 11. No, that wasn't Masella. That's another driver. Oh, that's going to be... Pick up the number as they come through here, Todd. That's one of the Pabst cars. That's the 23 of Eddie Beswick.
And that it does not have the right rear wheel on the ground, and that is going to definitely slow Eddie Beswick.
3rd to 23rd to 11th to 23rd.
That is an eventful day. I was just going to mention, too, as we're working lap 16, this is the point where we'll start to see, I think, drivers that have been pushing really hard to maintain their position, and can they continue to push, and others whose cars are a little more stable or have started to improve a little bit in the late stages of this race, and we may start to see a little shuffling of positions or difficulty in keeping that car off the wall.
Great call. Let's speak right to that, Todd. Lucas Nanji in 5th and Gabe Kahn in 6th just turned their fastest laps of the race. They're starting to get in a groove, and I think, to be honest, Kahn's got that open racetrack finally, right? He was in the middle of that battle with Golan and Aiken, and finally open racetrack, he's able to light it up a little bit. So let's have a look as we are closing things down. 3 laps to go on a 20-lapper. Garzone your leader, Vergara 2nd, Scorpione 3rd, Majman 4th, and Nanji 5th. It's kind of been that way since the start. But then we've got Gabe Kahn running 6th, Vian Bossoff in 7th, Ryan Janetta up to 8th, Colin Aiken holding on to 9th. It's still Liam Loiacono in the 10th spot. 11th, Wesley Gundler. 12th is Teddy Massell, and that's that battle we talked about. There's Cal Peter and Wesley Gundler, the Jay Howard and Envy cars going at it. Good stuff right now. But that was no, it wasn't Cal Peter, pardon me. That was actually the Loiacono Gundler. Loiacono 10th, Gundler 11th. 9 and 6 got those swapped around. Of course, similar liveries with the Jay Howard Driver Development and their new partnership with Ed Carpenter Racing. You're seeing those drivers on track with the Java House and Splenda logos on the car as well. So great to see that connection between the ECR IndyCar squad. There's the 93 of Kahn. 93 of Gabriel Kahn. Gabe running up in the 6th position now. I think right behind him, though, is Vian Bossoff. We got ourselves a battle. Bossoff pushing hard from 7th position. Last year, his first ever car race, first ever USF 2000 race. Big wreck for him. Knotted up a car pretty bad. I think bringing home a result would be good here, but as I said, you put that visor down, they get that red mist, they become race car drivers, and all of a sudden, it's not about getting a result. Sometimes it's about just getting the position in front of you.
And that's the learning and maturing process that all young racers have to go through. Some succeed a little more quickly than others. Some never get it completely, but it is a battle. That is a good battle right now between the 93 car of Gabe Kahn and Vian Bossoff. Those is a good fight between those two.
Yeah, Ryan Janetta, the VRD Racing number 44, not that far back as well. He's watching it all happen here. So, again, that driver, the 44 in the trying to get the sponsor on that car is the R3 Recover and Wellness Chili Surfboards machine. Yeah, so he's from Redondo Beach, California. I did a podcast interview with Ryan earlier in the offseason. I'm, of course, in Canada, buried in snow, and he was just coming in from the waves. He did some surfing in the morning, so I like it. Good exercise.
Good of him to share that with you, yes.
We haven't had a lot of time to talk about Sebastian Garzon. Let's do that right now because that driver is out front and leading the way. Final lap for Garzon in the D-Force Racing Machine. One of the young drivers last year, won the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series back in 2024. Took that scholarship to USF 2000 as he works his way through Turn 4. Super speed last year. But one of the things about Sebastian, he pushes hard all the time. And there were a couple issues he got into. A year on, more experience. He's a 2-time winner at the SCUSA Super Nationals in the junior categories as well. But this is his opportunity now to use everything he learned in 2025, put it to good use, and try to get the season off in the best way possible. He does not have the fast lap. Brad Majman just pulled that away, but he is qualifying on pole. He's led the most laps. If he wins here, which he looks like he's going to do, will be 32 points and a solid point lead. Out of the chicane, up turns number 12 and 13 to the final hairpin, turn 14. And our first race in USF 2000 is done and dusted. Out of the final corner, he's a winner in USF 2000 for D-Force Racing. Sebastian Garzon wins race 1 of 2026. What a run for Sebastian Garzon. The margin of victory, 2.5 seconds. Joao Vergara coming home in second. What a drive. The rookies from juniors. How good is USF Juniors as a training ground? Third in points, first in points, Vergara and Scorpioni on the podium in their debut races in USF 2000. Garzon, Vergara, Scorpioni, Brad Majman in fourth, Nanji in fifth. Both Bossoff and Janetta got around Gabe Kahn on the final lap.
They were pushing him as they headed down the long straightaway into corner 1 and then continued to push him the rest of the lap and managed to gain those 2 spots.
Still a tremendous drive for Kahn. He ends up in 8th, but Vian Bossoff, what a great drive for him. He ends up in 6th, his best career USF 2000 finish. Same goes for Ryan Janetta in that 7th position. Gabe Kahn 8th, Colin Aiken 9th, and Wesley Gundler rounding out the top 10. Todd, I'm going to head here out to Victory Lane. We're going to to talk to all three drivers on victory lane. The results are going to come up for you. I'll let you go through the entire 23-car field.
As you see, your winner is the number 12 car, Sebastian Garzon, who leads from start to finish. A tremendous effort, built himself about a 2.8-second lead over the second-place runner, Joao Vergara, a rookie in the series, and then Leonardo Scorpioni, who has the scholarship money from the USF Juniors Championship, followed by Majman Lucas Nanji. A shout-out to a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan. A great run from the top 5. Started outside the top 10, but took advantage of the difficulties of other drivers at the start of the race to move up several spots and then hold off. Ryan Boshoff and Ryan Janetta managed to get around Gabriel Kahn in the closing lap as the 93 car continues, though, with a strong result and the better result of the two Kahn brothers. It'll be great to see that family dynamic play out all season long, followed by Colin Aitken and Wesley Gunder. Continuing to look through the rest of our finishers is Tenny Busella, who finishes with the 12th spot. Ayrton Kahn, the other Kahn brother, with a 13th place finish. Cal Peter, a nice solid result, has had his hands full on occasion, but comes home with a 14th place result, followed by Nordquist, Aspley, Morgan, and then you see the two cars of Anthony Martella and Evan Cooley, who came in contact in corner 1 on lap number 1 off the start. It was Anthony Martella that wound up getting turned around in corner number 1, and the team car of Evan Cooley came up to have contact and wound up on top of the car of Anthony Martella. It has been a busy and hectic morning for these USF2000 teams and drivers who hit the track first thing this morning with practice, qualifying, and then the race results. And there you see the drivers have returned into pit lane and getting ready to come out and celebrate the first podium of the year for USF2000.
Had someone up there guarding me. I want to say a big shout out to my grandma, Chiomavo. And yeah, I knew I was safe. I was gonna do my best, and I just had to put down the laps.
Did that one for Grandpa, didn't you?
Yeah, I did that for my grandpa. Chiomavo, chiamo todo mundo. Beijo.
Congratulations, buddy. Let's go over to one more driver here. USF Juniors champion last year. What a great way to start the season, man. It's not a win, but battling against those veteran drivers, P3, that's a pretty solid way to start.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good race. Quality didn't go out as we planned. The red flag and started being all the way in the back. We're a new team, so we kind of got a little bit messed up with all the traffic and everything, but we were able to finish P7 in quality, and then I knew for the race we had the pace to be top 5, so that's what we were able to do. Stay clean in turn 1, didn't go out with most of them, and stay third, and after that there's not much to do with the dirty air. It's kind of hard to pass,
A lot of pressure on Joao. Was there any other opportunity, like maybe I could just send it in here to try to go P2?
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but it's the start of the season. There's no point to risk everything right now. There's a long season ahead. I want to fight for the championship. One spot at the end of the year, it's the first race of the year. It's okay if we were fighting for the championship last race of the year, then it's a different story, of course. But first race, I'm happy to finish P3.
Leo, congratulations.
Thank you.
Leo Scorpioni, folks, last year's USF Juniors champion. A tremendous job for him to be able to go to P3. Those juniors drivers, those graduates, second and third for Vergara and Scorpioni, and of course a big win for the second-year driver, Sebastian Garzon. Let's go back to Todd in the booth.
Yes, the victors will make their way to the victory podium shortly. Sebastian Garzon, Joao Vergara, and Leonardo Scorpioni, the 3 podium finishers. Race number 1 for the USF 2000 series here on the streets of St. Petersburg. Super exciting race. We had the one incident up at the top of the race in corner number 1 with 2 exclusive Autosports getting tangled, cars getting tangled together. But then it was a clinic, quite frankly, from Sebastian Garzon. He was focused, head down, straight ahead, a strong, consistent race right from start to finish, and a tremendous run for him. Now these drivers and their teams will have plenty of time to make adjustments, to make repairs, and to do a lot of debrief between now and their second race of the weekend, as another doubleheader, as always, for the USF 2000 series here on the streets of St. Petersburg. They do not race again until Sunday afternoon. Their next race will follow the conclusion of the NTT IndyCar series on Sunday afternoon, and it will be an extremely different track that they face when they arrive here. There will be a lot more cars with a lot more rubber down on the track than they have experienced this morning here on Friday on the streets of St. Petersburg. A lot of rubber, especially after a 100-lap NTT IndyCar series race on Sunday. Very different from what they've experienced here this morning. But yes, those drivers will be at Victory Podium momentarily. We thank you for joining us here on the streets of St. Petersburg once again this morning. If you haven't had the opportunity yet to check out the souvenirs and merchandise for the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg event, merchandise is available next to Gasoline Alley in Albert Whitted Park and by Al Lang Stadium in the Speed Zone. If you are celebrating a milestone birthday or anniversary with us here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, maybe it's your first visit. If it is, thank you for joining us and welcome. We hope that you continue to enjoy yourself all weekend, but you can stop by the information booth to get your commemorative welcome certificate as part of it as well. We have a number of new viewing areas as well as some fan favorites that are taking place this weekend. There's a great new viewing area in Turn 1. It's a general admission viewing area outside of Turn number 1 with facilities there as well that you can enjoy the view from a different area. There is a lot of activity on the stage outside the Mahaffey Theater, the Mahaffey Plaza stage. During breaks in action, we'll have a DJ playing music later on this afternoon from 3 to 3:40. Immediately after, there's a Q&A session for 20 minutes with Andretti Global's Dan Tauris and Mario and Michael Andretti there. So lots to do here. Lots more big screens as well circulating around the track. If you're wandering and exploring the area here at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, there are more big screens for you to keep up on the action going on, and we appreciate you joining us here on Friday. Indy Next will be coming up momentarily. They are next on track for their first practice session of the weekend. It will be followed by the NTT IndyCar Series. Let's go back to Rob for podium celebrations for USF 2000.
Todd, thank you so much. We are down here in Victory Circle getting ready to get things underway for race number 1, the Foundation Building Products Materials Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. We got some guests helping us out here as well today, so looking forward to that. Let's get started here. The driver coming home in third place, the USF Juniors champion for Zanella Racing. It is Leonardo Scorpioni. And to present him with his award, Keith Hicks, one of our guests from FBM. It's great to have the good folks from Foundation Building Materials with us here this weekend. Leonardo Scorpioni, fantastic start to his USF 2000 career. Again, juniors champion last year. Excellent job. Looking forward to more on Sunday afternoon. Finishing in second spot, these USF Juniors graduates, super impressive. P2 for João Vergara. For VRD Racing, Andre Brown will bring up the trophy for João Vergara. Again, first race of the 18-race season for these young drivers here, going all the way to Road America in September. And to see these young junior drivers step it up and make it happen, excellent job for both Vergara and Scorpioni. The rookies are ready to battle the veterans here in 2026. But one more driver to get things underway here, folks. He is your winner for the first time. He'll be your point leader going to race number 2. The winner for D-Force Racing, Sebastian Garzón. Avery Jericho's going to help us out here. Again, one of our guests from FBM. What a great run for Sebastian Garzón. Qualified on pole, was fastest in practice this morning as well. And then went on to go flag to flag to win his first USF 2000 championship. This kid wins a lot of races, folks. A couple years ago, he was the best junior driver in the country in go-kart racing. Now he is the toast of the town here in USF 2000. Garzón the winner, Vergara second, and Scorpioni in third. Amazing stuff. And again, those drivers celebrating the action here. We got all our guests from FBM going to come up there for a photo. Again, watching Scorpioni and Vergara last year in that USF Juniors program, the first rung of our series, our ladder program, you knew that they were destined for big things, and what a fantastic run coming out of the gate for both the Scorpioni and Vergara. Very strong runs, very mature runs as well. They probably could have dug a bit harder. Scorpioni said he probably could have made some big moves, maybe tried to send it for P3. He'd do it maybe in the final race of the year, but starting the season off with a third place in points, really crucial to get things rolling. That's the way you do it, folks. You bank up the points, you get the consistency. Guys, stay up there. Stay up there. We got champagne waiting in the wings, of course. So they can wear these suits and get them covered in champagne and wash them tomorrow, because we're not back until Sunday. So we'll see how it all plays out. But again, always love to see it, folks. These guys are the future stars of the NTT IndyCar Series, and they are on display here to start things off here in St. Petersburg. When the champagne flies, I want you to do me a favor and rip one out for me here, folks. I want to hear it. Guys, grab that champagne. What a race today. Guys, grip it and rip it. Let's go. Champagne celebration. Sebastian Garzón, his first win in USF 2000, and Vergara and Scorpioni on the podium as rookies on an amazing race here in the USF 2000 program. We're back after IndyCar on Sunday afternoon, a 3 o'clock start, so everyone's going to be enjoying themselves. These three will be, of course, celebrating their successes here today. But again, what a fantastic run there for the drivers here in USF 2000. A couple issues on the racetrack, but that's part and parcel for racing here in the streets of St. Petersburg. Those barriers are high and wide and unforgiving for sure. But the driver up front did not make a mistake at all. As he said in his driver interview, pushed super hard for the first half of the race and was able to kind of cruise through at the end. But what a drive for this young driver. Again, I've had the privilege of watching him come up through his karting ranks. Go back to 2024 when he won both the junior categories of the SuperKarts USA Super Nationals. Took those, was super strong in the Lucas Oil School Formula Car Series, winning that championship as well. Was a raw rookie in USF 2000 last year. Made a couple of mistakes, but man, did he ever learn a lot. Put it all into play here today. Folks, let's wrap things up. They're going to pull that Colombian flag out here momentarily to celebrate his first win of his USF 2000 career. He's a point leader heading into Sunday. Got the pole award, got the trophy coming out here as well. We will wrap things up here, folks, one more time. My winner today in USF 2000, Sebastian Garzón. Folks, thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast here from the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. We'll cap things off here. We'll see you back here on Sunday on behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire. My name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.